Igwebuike was wrapping up a busy workday in his Atlanta office when his phone buzzed. It was not a work email, and no, not a client call. Instead, it was a WhatsApp notification, the Obiora family WhatsApp chat, and the message was simple and short. Family meeting this weekend, everyone must attend. Now, if you know, you know. In our culture, a message like that is never ordinary, it's heavy, and Igwebuike knew right away that it was about inheritance, land, legacy, the sharing of properties, the type of things that can either unite a family or tear it apart forever. And at that moment, he felt the pressure, the weight of inheritance. Hello guys, my name is Ife Onye, and welcome to another episode of the Catalyst Podcast. Today, we are talking about what happens when tradition collides with progress. In the Igbo culture, inheritance is not just about properties, it's about identity. It's about who matters most, who is recognized and who is not. And for centuries, it has followed a simple but unquestioned rule. The first sons will normally get the most important things. They get the ancestral home in the village, they get the big house in the city. Sometimes they are also appointed to head the family business. But this was our ancestors' way of keeping order, and the system worked for its time. But today, we live in a completely different time. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a family where one son built a career abroad, started businesses, invested, and created something of his own. But when it was time to share the inheritance, tradition says none of that matters. The only thing that counts is who was born first, not who has the experience, not who has the skills and capacity to manage wealth. And in this case, we are talking about 7 minutes of birth difference. Just 7 minutes. This is the clash. This is why we have family disputes, land disputes. This is why two brothers fight each other over a piece of land. But Igbo people are known to be a very wise people. We have lots of proverbs that teaches wisdom. When I was growing up, there is this particular one that I used to hear a lot. I don't hear it so much these days, not sure why, but it says, Ife Onye rutalu, meaning what one worked for is what they get. Let's put it in another way. Whatever you get, you must have worked hard for it. But what happens when our tradition ignores that truth? What happens when the proverb we teach our children contradicts the system we enforce in our family? Let me tell you about Igwebuike. By the time that family meeting was called, Igwebuike had already built a $12 million logistics company with 40 employees, a home in Buckhead, 2 children in private schools, real measurable wealth. And his twin brother Nnabike, he is living in a house that Igwebuike built with his American money, with failed businesses, failed investments, and a trail of opportunities wasted. But when it was time for that meeting, when their dad appeared on that Zoom call, he announced that Nnabike, as my first son, will inherit the ancestral home in the village, in the apartment complex in Abuja and the Lagos shopping plaza. And then the whole screen exploded with congratulations, heart emojis, thumbs up. And then he continued, Igwebuike will receive the family land in the village. Village land, that's what Igwebuike got. But something happened after that meeting ended, because Igwebuike was not okay with that, obviously. He thought about the wasted opportunities. He thought about how his twin brother, who is only 7 minutes older than him, will waste all this inheritance. And so he did something that would change everything forever. He created another private family WhatsApp group and invited only his brother, his sisters, and his dad. And then he sent one simple message. He said, Dad, I need to schedule a private family call. There are things we need to discuss about the inheritance. And when that day came, everybody joined, family members joining from different parts of the world, some in London, some in Toronto, Houston, Lagos. And then Igwebuike opened the floor by sharing his company profile. He showed them his employee roster, his revenue chart, and then asked his dad one simple question. He said, how does 7 minutes of birth timing justify this massive wealth disparity. And then he continued, I built the house that Nabike lives in. I've watched him fail at every opportunity. And today, tradition says he deserves everything because he has won the birth lottery. And then he turned to his sister, Adeze, and said, Adeze, your $40 million fund did not count today. Is this how we reward you for your hard work by making you invisible? After he said all that, he went ahead to ask them to review the inheritance and make changes based on merit, and then he ended the call. When it comes to inheritance, tradition don't care about your education, your experience, your investment, or your sacrifices. And let's be real, a good number of us have experienced this or know someone who has. I've seen brothers stop talking to each other for decades. I've seen cousins turn into enemies, and I've seen inheritance disputes spill into physical fights and sometimes blood. I'm going to ask you one question. Should your worth in the family be measured by birth order or by what you've built with your two hands? Should family inheritance be based on birth order or by merit? And let's face it, what really is the role of tradition? Is it to preserve us and our legacies or to destroy us? And when does tradition stop preserving us and start destroying us? Those are the questions I want you to answer. Not to me, but to yourselves as a parent, as an elder in the family, as a custodian of culture. Here is what I believe. Traditions should serve the family, not the other way around. Imagine if we set up trusts like Mazu Obiora eventually did, and not just dividing land, but investing in businesses, scholarships, and opportunities for future generations. Because 3 months later, Mazu Obiora called another meeting. This time, he showed up with a PowerPoint presentation and titled it Family Trust and Modern Governance. In that, he explained what their family will start doing going forward. That trust he was establishing will be managed by whoever demonstrates the best capability to have a transparent report, and there's going to be an equal voice for daughters and sons, a merit-based stewardship whereby the one who has the capacity and the experience will be the person to manage the family trust. But what is beautiful about this is that everybody's carried along, everybody's name is in the properties, and at the end of every year, the revenue that is generated from managing the properties will be shared among the family based on everybody's contribution. Merit was the solution. This merit is what will end all the negative consequences of the present inheritance system that we have in our culture. Again, the solution is merit. That's what modern family governance should look like. Our ancestors gave us tradition to preserve the family. But sometimes, to truly preserve the family, we must adapt and evolve those traditions. Inheritance should not just be about houses or land. It should also be about what kind of family we want to build, the kind of legacy we want to leave behind. Tradition is a foundation, not a prison. And the question I leave with you is this: are we brave enough to evolve it, not to destroy it, not to abandon those traditions, but to evolve it? This is the catalyst. If you've lived through inheritance conflict or you've seen one unfold around you, I would like to hear from you. Drop me a message in the comment section. And most importantly, share this episode with your family, your friends, and especially in those WhatsApp groups where these conversations are already happening. Remember, change does not happen by accident. Change happens because someone somewhere decides to be a catalyst. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening in today. I will see you in the next episode.